this computer. Get that.
There you go.
I'm just watching you if you weren't here that I could do it.
I'm sorry. Did you want to do
No, but that's why I'm like over your shoulder.
It's just muscle memory. All right. We are in Judith, my friends. And Brian, I don't know the book of Judith.
Yeah.
But Brian promised us that we meet her today. So.
What chapter did you say were?
I think you said 8.
8.
All right.
8.
I found Maccabees. It's got to be close to that, right?
It's just before that. Yeah.
Ezra's.
Jeremiah. This is a
Description of Judith.
All right, somebody else start because I am struggling with.
At that time, Judith heard about these things. We have to remember the Israelites have been decimated, right?
Mhm.
She was the daughter of Merari, the son of Ox, the son of Joseph, the son of Ozio, the son of Elikiah, son of Anias, son of Gideon, son of Raphaim, son of Ahitub, son of Elijah, son of Hilkiah, son of Eliab, son of Nathaniel, son of Salamiel, son of Sarasadai, son of Israel. Her husband, Manasseh, who belonged to her tribe and family, had died during the barley harvest. For as he stood overseeing the men who were binding sheaves in the field, he was overcome by the burning heat and took to his bed and died in Bethulia in his city. So they buried him with his father in the field between Dothan and Balamon. Judith had lived at home as a widow for 3 years and 4 months. She set up a tent for herself on the roof of her house and girded sackcloth about her loins and wore the garments of her widowhood. She fasted all the days of her widowhood except the day before the Sabbath and the Sabbath itself, the day before the new moon and the day of the new moon and the feasts and days of rejoicing in the house of Israel. She was beautiful in appearance and had a very lovely face. And her husband, Manasseh, had left her gold and silver, and men and women slaves, and cattle and fields, and she maintained this estate. No one spoke ill of her, for she feared God with great devotion. When Judith heard the wicked words spoken by the people against the ruler, because they were faint for lack of water, and when she heard all that Uzziah had said to them, and how he promised them under oath to surrender the city to the Assyrians after 5 days, she sent her maid, who was in charge of all she possessed, to summon Shabris and Sharmis, the elders of her city. They came to her, and she said to them, "Listen to me, rulers of the people of Bethulia. What have you said to the people today is not right. You have even sworn and pronounced this oath between God and you, promising to surrender the city to our enemies unless the Lord turns and helps us within so many days. Who are you that have put God to the test this day and are setting yourselves up in the place of God amongst the Son of Men? You are putting the Lord Almighty to the test, but you will never know anything. You cannot plumb the depths of the human heart nor find out what a man is thinking. How do you expect to search out God, who made all these things, and find out his mind or comprehend his thought? No, my brethren, do not provoke the Lord our God to anger. For if he does not choose to help us within these 5 days, he has power to protect us within any time he pleases, or even to destroy us in the presence of our enemies. Do not try to bind the purposes of the Lord our God, for God is not like man, to be threatened, nor like a human being, to be won over by pleading. Therefore, while we wait for his deliverance, let us call upon him to help us, and he will hear our voice if it pleases him. For never in our generation, nor in these present days, has there been any tribe or family or people or city of ours which worshiped gods made with hands, as was done in the days gone by. And that was why our fathers were handed over to the sword and to be plundered. And so they suffered a great catastrophe before our enemies. But we know no other God but him, and therefore we hope that he will not disdain us or any of our nation. For if we are captured, all Judea will be captured, and our sanctuary will be plundered, and he will exact of us the penalty for its desecration. And the slaughter of our brethren, and the captivity of the land, and the desolation of our inheritance, all this he will bring upon our heads among the Gentiles, whenever we serve as slaves. And we shall be an offense and a reproach in the eyes of those who acquire us. For our slavery will not bring us into favor, but the Lord God will turn it to dishonor.
Should we pause there for just a minute? Thank you so much for reading. We have Father Brian with us now.
Hello. My dog did not vomit, but the emergency vet said he's just a jerk. He will probably be fine. Keep an eye on him.
Did he eat a lot or a little bit?
A little under a cup is my guess.
Oh, he'll be.
My parents were on a cruise in Europe, and they brought us back a gift of risotto rice from Italy. It was on the kitchen table, and my dog has figured out that he can leap in one bound onto the kitchen table. And so he did that, and then he ate the little bag of rice.
What a lovely gift they brought for him.
They sure did.
He enjoyed it.
But thank you for getting us started. And we finally have Judith. I hope she was worth the wait.
Yeah.
Because
We read verses 1 to 23. So we met her, found out she was a widow, and now she's a very wealthy widow. And she stormed into the magistrate saying, like, you're giving God a timeline? I don't think so. And so that's where we're at. If that's a
How dare you?
how very dare you.
yeah.
So that was my summary, but other people might have heard something else.
Yeah, she does not take anyone's shit. Let me grab my Bible quickly. Just so I can let Charity have hers back.
Oh, it's not even mine. I borrowed it.
When I have studied Judith before,
Oh, wonderful.
and yeah, she's one of the tough cookies of the Bible. And when I think of her, I start thinking about other women who have done amazingly brave things that I question whether a man would do. Like I think of Helen Keller. I wonder if men were born left deaf, dumb, and blind. You know what I mean? She like had no ability if they would have given up. But not Helen, and Anne Sullivan, who helped her learn how to communicate. And there's a lot of other women like that. I think of Anne Frank and just different women who just refuse in the face of horrible obstacles to give up.
Yeah.
And Judith reminds me of that she's a tough cookie. She's like, yeah, I'm amazed that like she's fasted for however long her husband's been dead. She's really been honoring him, and she honors God, and that's enough for her.
And I think there is something special about people who have been through terrible things in their lives, things that it would be very reasonable to not believe in a God after so many things happen to you, and those people still having faith. And I think that's part of why she is able to withstand the current situation that they're going through, because in her mind, I've already been through all this. This is new for you, but it's not new for me.
I've been wearing sackcloth for 3 years.
Mhm.
I thought it was interesting oh, go ahead, David.
I was just wondering how you could fast that long and stay healthy. I was trying to look up, just exactly what that meant. If that meant no food every day or what. It's not really clear what I've been able to see, but yeah, that requires a lot of a lot of steadfastness, a lot of determination. So I'd have to do more research to see. But if she only ate every once in a while, wow.
I wonder if it's a Ramadan type thing where you could eat at night.
That's what I was wondering as well. Yeah, yeah.
And a
But
lot
I
of times,
I didn't
sorry.
get any information right quick about that. So I'm not sure. But that's yeah. So I
I
don't know. That's to me amazing.
likely my assumption would be that it's a fast of something like bread and water, where it's asceticism, but not going with not starvation. Yeah. Which is the practice that a lot of early Christians, like the Desert Fathers, practiced. Now there are stories, of course, of there's a Saint Macarius the Younger, I believe, who fasted so strenuously that he did not eat anything except a few leaves dipped in salt water so that he wouldn't seem like he was boasting to his fellow brothers. But those are exaggeration stories that come up through the years.
even medically, sometimes when they say fast, they mean you can have water and clear liquids.
Yeah.
You know, so she might have been having some honey and water and, you know, and things like that.
I'm having strong Kung Fu Panda vibes. Do you remember that where he's like, he's only going to exist on the dew of the universe? Universe dew.
You need to
There-
watch.
It isn't.
It's a
It
good
is
movie.
interesting that fasting was prohibited on these feast days where she broke her fast. Jews were not allowed to fast on these specific days of celebration and holy days. So but yeah,
So the same is actually true for us. The 40 days of Lent does not include Sundays.
right.
We do not fast on Sundays because those are feast days. And I also think, as we're talking about this discussion of the fasting, this is a good time to remind us that this is a novel. Judith is not meant to be a real life historical figure. So the specifics of what she ate are up to interpretation anyway.
I thought it was interesting her husband died of heat stroke while he was working. Like it seems like just paints him as a hardworking guy. He didn't that he was out. I mean, it seems like they had a lot of wealth, but it seems like he was someone who was actually out and doing labor. And I'm wondering if that doesn't also kind of paint into this generally righteous picture of their family.
Yeah, she is certainly without fault, and her husband without fault, that we have been presented with.
See, and mine says her husband, her own tribe, blah, 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 died at the time of the barley while he was supervising those who found. So he was, it kind of shows that he was out there.
Yeah.
But puts him a step above as the supervisor.
But he must have been also doing some of the physical work too, if that happened. He could be supervising it and roll over.
Yeah.
Well, it says they had servants and he left servants behind for her. So I'm not sure. He probably wasn't doing all the work, but he was, it said he was standing there. So I don't know. So maybe he was supervising, but even so.
Overseeing those who were binding sheaves in the field.
And maybe he was just old, elderly or something. And a hard.
Didn't drink enough water.
Yeah, there you go. Dawn.
Well, that,
Dehydration.
everybody in the town's dying of thirst right now, right? So maybe she's like, I don't know.
Been there, done that.
And they're done that.
But it's interesting how someone, to me, was just interesting. It's how someone could abstain from most food anyway for 3 years and 4 months. That's a long time. So like Brian was probably saying, that might be a detail of the story. that isn't necessarily to be taken literally, but just figuratively in the fact that she was being incredibly devout and pious and
It could have been intermittent.
It is a novel. It is a novel, so we don't know exactly all the rules of the times.
But also her being a widow kind of frees her up to go be a badass, right?
Mhm.
Like she doesn't have anyone who's going to be embarrassed by her. She's like already lost her husband. She's probably hungry and cranky.
So,
I mean, she's
So-
kind of free at this point, right? To just
But I think it's important that she was married. Like in this time, a woman who's never been married, undesirable, why was it, so if you make her a widow, she's done what a woman was supposed to do.
right.
correct.
Word.
And it particularly, she's a childless widow. So because she was married, she is no longer under the control of her father. Because her husband died, she's no longer under the control of her husband. Because she has no sons, she's not under the control of her sons. And presumably, the way that this is written, her husband had no other family members to take on the estate. So she is in this very unique situation where she has a lot more agency than most other women would at this time.
How obnoxiously ridiculous to have to write the story to specify so many things to say this woman is free.
Sort of.
Like, and it is. I mean, but it's obnoxiously ridiculous.
Well,
Like,
but like you said, but according to the times, I mean,
it's accurate.
that's the phenom of Mary. I mean, Mary could have been taken to the town square and stoned
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
because she was
Yeah.
pregnant, and without being attached.
Yeah.
I mean, things were just different then.
well, her calling the the big shots of the town together and really giving them what for. That's not exactly normative for that time. Even though she was independent, she was doing something that the most women would not have done, and in most cases, and maybe it has to do with her wealth. Most cases, the men would not have taken it very well from from a woman in most situations. So this is really, as Brian was alluding to, a very unique situation.
How far did we read again?
23.
23, okay.
Yeah,
Just making
so
sure then. Yeah.
she's kind of in the middle of her rant.
Mhm.
Yeah, she is.
Or her impassioned plea.
Yes.
I think it's a ring.
Her impassioned rant.
Now,
Her godly
therefore,
rants.
brethren, let us set an example to our brethren, for their lives depend upon us.
Mm.
And the sanctuary and the temple and the altar rest upon us. In spite of everything, let us give thanks to the Lord our God, who is putting us to the test as he did our forefathers. Remember what he did with Abraham and how he tested Isaac, and what happened to Jacob in Mesopotamia in Syria while he was keeping the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother. For he has not tried us with fire as he did them to search their hearts, nor has he taken revenge upon us, but the Lord scourges those who draw near to him in order to admonish them. Then Uzziah said to her, all that you have said has been spoken out of a true heart, and there is no one who can deny your words. Today is not the first time your wisdom has been shown, but from the beginning of your life, all the people have recognized your understanding, for your heart's disposition is right. But the people were very thirsty, and they compelled us to do for them what we have promised, and made us take an oath, which we cannot break. So pray for us, since you are a devout woman, and the Lord will send us rains to fill our cisterns, and we will no longer be faint. Judith said to them, listen to me. No, sorry. I am about to do a thing which will go down through all generations of our descendants. Stand at the city gate tonight, and I will go out with my maid. And within the days after which you have promised to surrender the city to our enemies, the Lord will deliver Israel by my hand. Only do not try to find out what I plan, for I will not tell you until I have finished what I am about to do. Uzziah and the rulers said to her, Go in peace, and may the Lord God go before you to take revenge upon our enemies. So they returned from the tent and went to their posts. She hadn't taken her earrings off yet.
Yeah. If anyone had a grandma like this, but when it's right, listen to me. This is what's gonna happen.
My grandma.
And you say, yes, ma'am. Yes, that's what's about to happen.
Well, you know my grandmother. I did.
And it cracks me up in verse 27, where she basically says, this isn't even that bad.
Yeah. Talking.
Yeah.
Everybody that went before us.
Yeah, if you know your history.
Pansies.
Yeah, if you know your history, it can get worse than this.
Yeah. This isn't fire.
But they're really thirsty.
Yeah.
Not even like even people are dying from thirst. Like it is bad.
Those little limp babies are still in my head. Babies are listless. That's sad. She's a tough lady though.
Kind of
I
scary.
like it when she says, listen to me.
I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take care of it. Yeah.
And how amazing that they do.
They do listen.
But she, like you said, I know this is fiction, but she has a lot of standing.
Mm-hmm.
You are well known. We know, you know, where, from whence you come, you know.
And they're also desperate.
Yeah.
I think anyone coming up saying, I know what to do. If you're really, really scared, you'll say, okay, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure they're prepared for exactly what.
But you're right in that what's scary is that can sometimes get us into trouble, depending on who the person is who says, you are afraid, listen to me, I have the answer.
Yeah. Confidence goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
I think her standing was very unique, and it was very impressive because in most cases, when a woman tells a ruler, tells him off and says, I'm going to fix it for you, they would probably just laugh her off and say, what are you talking about? You're just a woman. What are you saying? You know? So this is a very unique situation. And yeah, it's just, I was thinking, you know, she's really telling them what for. Back in verse 23, she said, you can't compare where we are to what God has done for his people in the past, because we're giving in, you know, we're surrendering. So we're not in that same situation. So there's no glory that's going to come out of this situation the way you've set it up. So leave it to me. I'm going to fix it. And it's just amazing to me. And of course, it's not historically true, but it's amazing to me that they said, oh, okay. Whatever you say. Yeah. Good luck. Do
Good
whatever
luck.
you want to do. Yeah. We'll be back here rooting for you. Yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what would happen today if someone told President Trump, some woman came up to him and told him, okay, I'm going to fix it for you. Yeah. I don't think that would work too well. Yeah.
He was thirsty enough and didn't have to give her public credit, maybe. But there's a Japanese word called gambate, and it means like, go do your best. So I wouldn't necessarily be there with you, but I wish you well. Go try hard. And this is just very like.
There's some trust here, because if what she doesn't work, it could make it even worse for them. I'm not sure how it gets much worse, but it could make it worse for their how they were treated after they were finally conquered.
Mhm.
So, yeah, so it's a really interesting situation. It shows a lot of trust in her as a person, shows to her strength of character. Yeah.
Yeah, it surprises me where it talks about just go and, but don't, only do not try to find out what I'm doing. Just let me do it. And I'm going, I don't think a lot of people have a lot of trust in people to not know the ins and outs of how something was going to come about.
I feel like she's like, just stay out of my way, people.
That's exactly it.
Stay out of my way.
Let me do it. Just let me do it.
Yeah, and her plan absolutely requires the secrecy.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
you tell something to 3 people, forget about it,
It's not a secret.
Not a
so
secret.
she's gotta keep it just between her and her maid, you
Yeah.
know?
And she does not trust these men. They could not fast for over 3 years.
Yeah.
For as tough as she is, she's one that I would want as a friend, because she speaks her mind. It's not two-faced or whatever, you know
Yeah.
where she stands, and I love that in David,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah, she's not trying to like flatter them into giving
Right.
her a chance.
This is how it is.
Yeah. Listen to me.
Yeah.
You screwed it up long enough.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah,
I
her,
mean, I can hear her saying, how dare you
Yeah.
say that you're gonna surrender? We do not surrender. All these other people never surrender.
yeah, like verses 12 through like 14. She's like, who do you think you are? You gave God a time limit.
Yeah.
And she's like, you don't understand anything. Like you can't even figure out like how humans feel. And you think you're gonna like tell God what he should do on your timeline. Yeah, she's so indignant and righteous. I kind of am loving it.
And it's also interesting. They really don't understand what she is about to do. Because if you look, they ask her to pray for them. They assume that because she is a righteous and prayerful woman, that is the plan. Is she has told them trust in God, and they think trust in God looks like passively waiting and praying, and not whatever she is about to do in God's name.
May I ask a favor? I have no idea what she's gonna do, so don't spoil it for me.
Just know it's dramatic.
Oh,
And I
okay.
haven't read ahead because I'm kind of enjoying
Okay.
it this time.
Yeah.
AI something.
The only way what you might have seen is there's a very famous piece of artwork that is based on this story that, even not having read it, you may have come across it. And when we get to the resolution, you might realize what that artwork is. And I'll show it after we get to that point, but I won't reveal anything.
This is getting really
Now, do
interesting
you
now.
have that artwork in your office?
No, I do not have it in my
You
office.
have like your shells and like what?
I'll pull up a picture of it. I don't have it.
Do we want to try and read 9 or not?
We
It's up to you guys, obviously.
I would recommend not reading maybe all of 9. Maybe is there a good? It's not really a good.
It's like 2 big paragraphs. We can read the first one, like 1 through
Yeah, why don't
6, or we could just chat for 10 more minutes.
What would people like to do? Would we like to just start with 6 verses, or just kind of talk? I think it seemed like the prayer went a little less long today than it sometimes does.
Yeah, I was.
Charity cracked the whip on us.
Yeah, I said, talk
Kept us
fast.
in range.
Right, we're
Kept
ready
us
for
in
You did a
control.
good job.
I said, pray efficiently,
Yeah.
you guys.
Gave us 5 people beyond that. She's crazy.
No, you've already had yours.
Let's go.
No, I didn't do any of those things.
I can't imagine you would. Yeah, I'm sure you were all very excited to get to the point where Judith actually comes into the story.
Yeah, she's cool.
And
I like her.
actually, chapter 9 is sort of her psychological preparation.
Yes.
So that might be good altogether.
Yeah, we could save that.
That is the actual hold my earrings chapter.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can't get halfway through and stop.
Fair enough. I think
Right.
that's a very good point. But there I did not prepare enough to really get into this discussion, but at some point, whether it's after we finish the entire book or if we want to spend a little time while we're in the midst of it, there are some really interesting articles about the different ways Judith has been perceived over the centuries in Christianity.
That would be interesting.
That would be very cool.
Because like there have been people who tried to downplay the prominence of the role of a woman. There have been people who have made her a very modern, emancipated woman. There have been people who have portrayed her as a sex symbol.
Of course.
Because, but they're
That's what we do.
that is what we do.
as people.
Something's a hat tyrant.
Well, if you're gonna merch it.
Yeah.
I have
I-
a question. Is that book in the Bible or do I have to find a different text?
That is a less straightforward question than it should be. The Book of Judith is included in what's known as it's either called the pseudepigrapha or the apocrypha.
Okay.
And that is included in all Catholic Bibles, all Orthodox Bibles, and we consider it in the Episcopal Church to be a secondary canon. So we sometimes do read it on Sundays, but less often, and it's viewed, generally speaking, as kind of a tier below in terms of the authority of Scripture. And many Protestant Bibles do not contain it at all.
It's a King James version, amplified. I was looking.
King James, I would assume most King James Bibles, unless they explicitly state that they include the Apocrypha, would probably not by default.
Okay, I have other books.
Don, did you read
Um,
Tobit with us a couple years ago?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the same thing as Tobit. So wherever you were
Okay.
finding Tobit, you should be able to find Judith.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
I think
Yep.
I heard a sermon today. It was by an Episcopal priest, a woman priest, and she was talking specifically about Rachel and Leah, but she was mentioning that although the Episcopal Church, they have a lectionary, and over the 3 years of the lectionary, 3 of the more prominent women in the Bible that did amazing things, like Deborah and Ruth and Judith, they don't make it into the lectionary except for 2 times. Ruth and Deborah make it in 1 each, and Judith doesn't make it at all. So she was just talking about the underrepresentation of women, even in our lectionary, that they just aren't a big part of the story. And then she was sharing also in the lectionary that the part they share about Rachel and Leah is not the most important part of the story. So I think it's good we're paying attention to Judith, because sometimes we don't spend as much time thinking about and understanding the important impact that women have on a society then and society now. They're very much downgraded. It's very much patriarchal, and they're so what you're saying, Brian, about how Judith is viewed, it's not surprising that some of these views kind of denigrate her, that she's not really all that respected by some, because frankly they're trying to protect the patriarchy, I believe, at least not, if not directly, at least implicitly.
Yeah.
David, you and I both have, and maybe other people too, have come from churches where women don't get to speak like at all.
That's-
So
Yeah,
No,
that wasn't the Church of the Nazarene, but we were part of
Yeah.
Southern Baptist group,
but
so
you've been
we do
around that
understand.
kind of thing. I've gone to
Oh
a church.
yeah,
So this is, we'll move slowly, get the lectionary someday, but at least women in the Episcopal tradition can be priests and at least talk. So I'll take that as a win.
It's
Progress.
And I can actually understand how a book like Judith or Tobit were maintained as oral history to sort of say, in a lot of cases, you think you have it bad now. Look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These
that's
people
true.
have endured and endured and endured. So,
Can you just imagine a mom telling this to her kids who don't want to drink their cup of water?
stuff it up, buttercup. Yeah.
I think it was Tommy. Could have been me for all I know. There's people starving in China. What do you think they think of that? Well, my mom always thought China was far-fetched, so she would say Chicago. And I'd be like, well, I think they would be happy because they would know where to go. Like that there would be good food and we could put it on top of the garbage can instead of in it. What kind of demented thought process? But the thought was, they're still starving whether I eat this plate or not.
Well, see,
I have-
my roommate
I think I got slapped for that, but
wouldn't eat runny eggs, and so she'd scrape them, and her father would say, "Do you know there's children starving in China?" And as she was scraping, she said, "Whether I eat it or not, they're still
Still gonna be there. Oh, I like that.
I was just thinking
Box
about
it
the
up and-
water.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just thinking
Yeah.
about the water situation, and I was just thinking of Flint, Michigan.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
You know-
I'm sure there's other cities that have water issues, and I know a lot of people don't drink, water out of the sink. They buy bottled water. So
yeah, there's still a lot of people thirsty.
If anybody's been married, you know the woman's the boss. So,
absolutely.
Yes, sir.
But sometimes you got to do it softly.
Yeah.
Judith is not being soft
No.
about it. She's not saying, you know what's a great idea that you had last week was that I go take care of this problem. It's saying, shut up and let me do it. So yeah, I think that's remarkable to me for how confrontational she's being.
Yep.
That's what I like the
Yeah.
way she speaks her mind. And
It's very direct, it's very confrontational. She's not couching it in any kind of, this, the scripture says this, so don't you
Yeah.
think this? It's very
She's going, look,
listen to me.
is that what it is?
my husband dropped dead. I got left with all this responsibility. I have worked my way through it. And meanwhile, I've not been staying in my plush lush apartment. I'm living in a tent on the roof, wearing sackcloth. So don't talk to me. Don't try to tell me that things are bad. I've had it bad for,
I think you got her down. Really, that's truly.
To a
That's cool.
certain extent, it reminds me of Jesus talking to the lady at the well because they didn't mix. You don't do stuff like that.
she
And
was
yet
great.
the Bible still, in spite of all the patriarchy behind it, if you look carefully enough, the Bible still leaves room for the importance of women and what they've done. You look at the genealogy of Jesus and you look at the two women that are mentioned in the genealogy of Jesus. Can't remember if it's Matthew or Luke, but the one that does. And the two people in there are Ruth, who was a Moabite, and I can't
Rahab.
remember her name. Yeah,
Rahab.
yeah, Rahab, who was the one that helped the spies, the friendly woman, yeah, the woman, social organizer that helped the spies. So it's really interesting who makes it into the Bible. And then you look at the importance of women throughout history, and then you look at Mary Magdalene, Mary at the tomb. And she was the one that was the apostle of the apostles. So even behind all the patriarchy and all the attempts to keep women in their place, still the importance of women shines through. It just has to be somehow you have to dig around and dig it out. Fortunately, there are people that are doing that more and more. And you know, one person that you talked about, Brian, was the one who does the womanist history of what's her name? I can never remember. Gaffney, Will Gaffney.
Oh, yeah, Brian stepped out for a minute, but
Oh,
he got
anyway,
it.
Will Gaffney. Will Gaffney does what's called a womanist history, which is not specifically not just a woman's history, but a woman of color, a woman of a minority. So she has a lot of sectionality going on, and she shares the Bible from that perspective. So it's a valuable perspective.
Well, it's important to, I think, read the Bible in community. I would get so much more out of it when we talk together. And then if your community has people with different views, that's even better. Because if you read in a room where everybody thinks the same, I get less out of it. So I just thank you guys for being here and sharing your opinions. And I think it's so interesting because we all do come from pretty different backgrounds and got here in very different ways. And so I just enjoy doing this with you guys.
And I think it's amazing to have this group of so many different backgrounds, and you know what I mean? Like,
What I like is I got here through my daughter. It's kind of cool. That's seriously.
Well, she's a smart lady. I'm going to stop recording. We can keep talking.